There's a ton of noise out there. So how do you get decision makers to pay attention to your brand? Start a podcast and invite your ideal clients to be guests on your show. Learn more at sweetfishmedia.com.
You're listening to the B2B Growth Show, a podcast dedicated to helping B2B executives achieve explosive growth. Whether you're looking for techniques and strategies or tools and resources, you've come to the right place. I'm James Carberry.
And I'm Jonathan Green.
Let's get into the show. Welcome back to the B2B Growth Show. We are here today with Yoav Vilner. He is the CEO at Ranky, and he's also a contributor for Inc., Entrepreneur, and Huffington Post. Yoav, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm great. What about yourself?
I am wonderful. So, Yoav, we were talking offline, and I'm really excited to chat with you today about, really 4 specific tools that will, skyrocket your web traffic. And so you guys have done this for, I think you said over 200 startups.
Right.
You've seen results, you know what works and what doesn't work. And you've boiled it down into these 4 tools that I think will just be really actionable for the people listening to this. But before we do that, I'd love for you to explain a little bit about Ranky and what you and your team are up to over there.
Cool. Yeah. So Ranky was born about 3 years ago in Tel Aviv, where me and a co-founder were like freelancing and doing marketing for startups. But we were pretty much the first startup marketing guys, you can call it, because we weren't even a company yet. And it started off pretty well. And we've helped, like you said, 200 companies, which are usually somewhere between a seed round startup to a public company. So it's a very wide range.
Okay.
We have 15 team members in Tel Aviv, and right now I'm in New York to launch our next office. So yeah, it's mostly content marketing, SEO, blogging, social media, etc.
Got it. I love it. So Yoav, I want to cover these 4 tools and really dive into the benefits that each tool can bring. And so I'd love to just jump right into it. This first tool that you mentioned as it relates to, driving traffic is BuzzSumo. Talk to us about BuzzSumo and kind of what it does, and then the core benefits that you guys have seen from using it on a variety of sites.
Great. So BuzzSumo, I think it's probably the more popular tool from everything I'll be talking about, but a lot of people know about it, and there's a lot of different ways to use it. So we use it actually. Usually people use it to find BuzzSumo. Generally what it does, you just enter a topic or a keyword, and it gathers all of the topics around the web, and you can sort them out by social media shares. And then you can also sort it out by, specific channels like Twitter shares and LinkedIn, etc. So people use it to find, all kinds of ideas for topics, but we mostly use it actually for competitor research.
Okay.
So we use it specifically for, let's say we have a new client that's a startup in the interactive content industry. We don't want to just find interesting keywords to write about. We want to find keywords that went viral specifically in their competitor blogs, because usually startups, they don't have really direct competitors that are small as them. They usually have giant competitors, right? Because they're always tapping into big industries. So we use that to see what went viral on their competitor blogs. And then, it's going to be the same audience eventually. And if your competitor got 5,000 shares when you wrote about a specific long-tail keyword, then we're going to do pretty much the same idea. We're not going to copy anything, but the same concept, the same long-tail keyword. So we've seen amazing results from just going and seeing what your competitors are doing in their blog and just doing it better, writing longer text, combining pictures into it. And so that's usually what we use it for.
So you're not necessarily taking an opposite stance on it. You may be delivering, similar content. You're not obviously copying it, but you're trying to take whatever piece of content that their competitor developed that got them ranking for that keyword or made that post go viral, and just basically expanding on it and making it better.
Right. So we're not going to copy anything because there's a lot of different ways to write about a topic. We're just going to see what their audience found interesting enough to share. And then we're just going to try and write a better piece about it. That's what it's all about.
So when you go to BuzzSumo, you now plug in the competitor company name and just see what pulls up. And because it ranks by the number of shares, it's pretty easy to sort that stuff out.
Right. So you can just enter a domain. So that makes life pretty easy.
Yep.
And yeah, if your competitors, it's not going to happen often, but if your competitors don't even have an active blog, so you can just use BuzzSumo the generic way of just putting your keywords into it and then finding new websites that way.
Okay, so this next tool that we're going to talk about, Yoav, is FollowAlong. Talk to us about this one.
Right, so FollowAlong belongs to Moz, which needs no introduce, but it's a relatively small startup that they purchased about 2 years ago or 3. So FollowAlong is something very interesting. We actually use it on Twitter, where you can find, by the way, this also relies on competitor research, because we found that just doing a really, really good competitor research equals to months and months of, just shooting SEO tactics off the hat and not really know exactly where to aim. So here what you can do is, first of all, you can search your competitors on Twitter, and then from the tool within you can see all of their followers. So their followers have a very, very huge potential of being your followers as well. And instead of going, because I think a few years ago, I remember when people used to add people one by one, or, they would spend hours and hours doing guerrilla marketing on Twitter and stuff that are very manual. So this tool just offers you an automatic way of going and adding all of your competitors' followers at once, which kind of makes life easier. And you can also search for new people, new personas on Twitter that you haven't before, influencers and tech bloggers in your area. You can just search their Twitter bios by keywords, and it scrapes all of Twitter, shows you people who are relevant. Let's say you want tech bloggers, so you write tech blogger, you search for Twitter bios, and then you can sort them by influence and by social following, and then you can find the people that you would have probably never run into yourself. So those are 2 ways we use FollowAlong to do some research.
Yeah, I love any tactic that involves using Twitter outside of just distributing content. I think is super smart, because obviously engagement is tough to get with Twitter because of their lack of iteration of the product for so many years, not adapting an algorithm in how their feed works. But there are so many other ways to use Twitter, and so that's a fantastic one. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
So you'll have this third one. You're going to talk about OpenSite Explorer. Explain to us what this tool does, and then the benefits that you guys are seeing from it.
Yeah, so OpenSite Explorer is also a tool that I hope most marketers already know of, because it's been out for so long, but it keeps getting better. So OpenSite Explorer belongs to Moz as well. It's kind of the tool that started the whole domain authority and page authority, slang, because it's a measurement that Moz came up with. So that's the original tool where people can actually go and look for websites and see their domain authority. So what you can do, you can see the first thing that's interesting to measure your own websites as opposed to your competitors, and see which has the better domain authority and page authority and trust and all kinds of measurements that people are aware of today, which kind of gives you like a good head start of knowing how far away you are from your existing competitors. That's one thing. Second thing, which is more of a technical SEO aspect, is to see who is linking to your website and who is linking to their website. It's like a goldmine for finding link opportunities when you see who links to your competitors. And there's all kinds of different rare occasions that aren't rare anymore, that let's say you have a competitor that's been really big and out there and has like 1 million of inbound links. And let's say that competitor changed websites or rebranded or even shut down. What you can do, you can see through OpenSite Explorer everyone that linked to that competitor from all kinds of articles and content materials. And then you can just tell them, by the way, that's a broken link. You can now link to me because we have the same product, or, there's 1 million of original ways to do it.
Yep. No, I love it. And then you had one last tool for us, Yoav. What's that final tool?
Yeah. So the last tool called Uber Suggest. I think it's less. Have you heard of Uber Suggest before?
I have not.
Great. So I think people don't know about it yet. It's what I love about it. So Uber Suggest is made for keyword research, and we mostly use it for on-site content for blogs. So what it does is it automates the process where like when people did keyword research a few years ago, then they went to Google and they typed something and they hit space and they wanted to see Google autocomplete them, right? Because it gives you inspiration for all kinds of long-tail keywords. So what Uber Suggest does with one click, and by the way, I think it's free also, with one click, it scrapes all of the autocompletes you would get for your keywords from A to Z, which kind of gives you, I think, about somewhere between 50 to 200 long-tail keywords for any search you'll perform. So what I like about that tool is that people don't know about it. So when they do a keyword research for their blog, they're going to go into the keyword tool, right? The keyword planner in AdWords, just like everyone else. And they're going to see the same search volumes that everyone are seeing. If you use this, you're going to have a little bit of an edge because they haven't even seen those long-tail keywords. you're probably going to be the first one to use them. And then you can just prepare like a content plan for your blog, which could drive a lot of traffic.
I love it. So Yoav, this is incredible. Obviously, you've used all of these tools, across a variety of different types of companies. They work in a variety of industries. I think these are super applicable tools that anyone listening to this can take and use today. If there's somebody listening to this, maybe they want to stay connected with you, Yoav, or they want to learn more about Ranky, what's the best way for them to go about doing both of those things?
Yeah, so I'm very active on Twitter. So it's just my full name. So it's at Yoav Vilner, Yoav Vilner. That's where I spend most of my time. Our website at Ranky is just ranky.co, where people can read about all kinds of interesting stuff in our blog. We obviously write about a lot of, digital marketing ideas and methods. Yeah, that's where we are.
Love it. I love it. So Yoav, thank you so much for your time today. Again, this is going to be super, super helpful for our listeners. So I really appreciate it, man.
Great. Thanks for having me.
To ensure that you never miss an episode of the B2B Growth Show, subscribe to the show in iTunes or your favorite podcast player. This guarantees that every episode will get delivered directly to your device.
If you'd like to connect with B2B executives from all over the world, make sure to join our private Facebook community. There are some incredible conversations happening inside this group. To join, visit b2bgrowthshow.com/FB.
Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.